we will, okay, no issue. Okay. Now, actually, I would rather we term it aqua and hydroponics workshop. This is a theory part. Okay, obviously, you're not in my place to see it. So I'm just giving you all the theory. Okay, and sometimes theory may be a bit easier than practice. Okay, but at least you know the basic, and that will help you to be able to get an idea of what we are talking about. Okay, now by definition, let's start with hydroponics first. A bit easier topic. Okay, by definition, it's a soilless growing system that helps plants to grow by providing water and nutrient to a non-soil growing medium. In the past, every time you grow your plant, you need soil. Okay, you need soil, good soil, nutritious soil to grow a plant. But hydroponic, we take away the soil part of it. Instead, not only you just need water and nutrients, okay, and we allow the plant to grow as such. So in the way, hydroponic remove this barrier between the plant and the nutrient, okay, so that the roots of the plant that takes the nutrient direct access to water, oxygen, and nutrition required for it to grow and survive. Okay, so this is a very simplistic understanding of hydroponics, but there are many different types of hydroponic as such. Okay, now the growing media for hydroponics, there are many growing media. Okay, I shared you a few. Okay, it's not exhaustive as such. Vermicule is something that they do heat things up and then make into this compound, okay, that can be used as a medium to grow hydroponics. Okay, perlite also something volcanic and all that, and they make it very fine and all as a medium. Okay, coconut core between the skin of coconut and the inside fruit of the coconut. Okay, the in between the fibers, that's what you call the coconut core. Okay, and that also can be used as a medium. Rock wool can also be used as a medium. Okay, this is a piece of rock wool that I'm having. Okay, it's also again manufactured as such under high temperature. Okay, these are all absorbent material as such. Hydrotone or clay pellets. Okay, this is the medium that I use a lot. Hydrotone. It is a porous clay pellet. Okay, and it's a size that's very nice and manageable to use. Okay, you can buy this. It's called hydrotone as such, or clay pellets. You can use sand, gravel, or sawdust. Not salt, but sand, gravel, and sawdust. You make it to a consistency. It can be used as well. Okay, and also some people use moss. Peat moss is a special type of earth that they dig up. They say mainly from Canada and all that. It's quite cheap. Okay, and they use it as a medium. Okay, all this medium is to just be able to hold the root and allow the water to reach the root. That's all. That's all the medium is. Okay, so all they are different medium as such. There are basically 6 types of hydroponic system as such. Okay, one is the wick. Wick means you put your plant on top, and there's a wick system. Okay, that goes into the water, and the wick attracts the water up into your medium, and that's where you grow a vegetable. Okay, there's a wick system. Deep water culture is literally you float your plants in cups. Okay, in nesting cups like this, depending on the size, different sizes and all that. You float it on a lot of times it's a styrofoam board or something that float. You make a hole on it, you put the plant there, and literally the water is just there, and the roots enter the water as such. Okay. Nutrient film technique is NFT. Nutrient film technique means you pass the water through, and the roots get from the water, and the water passes through. Okay, a whole film, and your medium is there. Okay. Ebb and flow means you allow the water to come up, reach the roots. After a while, it goes down again. The root get oxygen, then it goes up again to get the nutrient, and the water falls down again. Ebb and flow, like a tide like that. Okay. Aeroponic is a different system again, where the nutrient solution you spray it onto the roots. The roots are in the air, you spray it onto the roots. Okay. This is my next project. I'm going to make an aeroponic system. Okay. I'm the process of making one. So you just spray the thing. So there's no, in a way, barrier between the nutrient and the roots. You spray the nutrient onto the roots, okay? And in between, you get oxygen and all that. This is also the most effective system. The drip system is the whole nutrient solution. You drip onto the vegetable, okay? And there's a place for the water to drain off. So you have drip system. It drip into the container with all your medium, and the plant is grown on top there, okay, and the water drains off from there. So there are many different types of systems that you have, but I'll show you which the one that in a way I favor. Now, a very basic principle for hydroponic as such, very basic principle, okay? You need a water reservoir, something to hold your solution with the nutrient inside. You need a water pump. You need a water pump. Okay, you need a water pump as such, water reservoir. Now, once the water pump is working, it must work. It pumps the water all the way up to the top. And depending what system you use, your flow, unidirection, normally most of the time, unidirection, flow all the way, okay, and goes back into water reservoir. So the water goes up and flows all the way and goes back in the water reservoir. And in between, depending which system you use, that's where you put your nesting cup for the veggie and all that, your medium and the veggie in the cups and all that. Okay, it can be round, can be square and all that. Okay, and a lot of times we use what we call cups and sponge. Okay, you can see this is a cup, there's a sponge. You have the plant, you sprout the plant, you put the root there, you put it there, and you put in the cup, and you put this into the whatever tubing or whatever have, and it lies in the water. Okay, and this is the most basic principle of hydroponic as such. Okay, so anything that can suspend onto a nutrient solution with the roots there, the roots will benefit from the nutrition, and the vegetable will be able to grow. Okay, there are different types of cups as such. Okay, there are different types of cups, different sizes even, small, big, and all that, depending on what type of system you have. Okay, you want to grow bigger plant, you need a bigger cup lah. You want to grow smaller plant, a smaller cup will do. Okay, so all these are different. So depending which system you want to use, they are all different sizes as such. Okay. Now the key thing that you have is the nutrition. How do the hydroponic, where do they get the nutrition from? Okay, and the classical one is A and B solution. A and B solution. Okay, normally A contains the following ingredients. Nitrogen, potassium is the most important one, with all the others: boron, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum, and zinc, and all that. And B will normally contain phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and sulfur. Now, these are what we call the macronutrients, means the major component of it: nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. These are the major nutrients that the plant must need. But at the same time, the plant also needs what are called micronutrients. All these are required for different processes, for budding, for fruiting, and all that. Okay, so all these are important. Now, it's very important in hydroponic, A and B. The reason why it comes separate A and B, okay? I got A and B here. This is a B, and this is the A. A and B. It comes separately. Okay, separately. Obviously, different company got slightly different proportion of components lah. You must mix A and B separately. Means you take A, most of the time standard pack, you got to follow instruction. Most of the time, one pack of this, you put to 10 liters of water, clean water. You can get distilled water, so much the better, or filtered water, whatever. You get clean water, you dilute this whole pack into 10 liters. That's how I make A solution. And do the same thing with B. Take B, put into 10 liters of water, and make sure everything is diluted. Now you must keep A and B separate. You cannot, as this, pour A into B. Once you pour A into B, you coagulate out, and you become a compound that the roots cannot use. Leave it separate. Okay, leave it separate. Only when finally, when you put into the water tank, you put A and you put B, you mix it inside a water tank with all the rest of water. Okay, so you cannot mix A and B together. Is it easier? I just pour one solution. You cannot. You must keep it separate. Okay, and there's good reason for it. You put it together too early, you coagulate out and it will not work. Okay, so these are the micronutrients, but depending on which company you use, their composition is slightly different. More of this, more of that. Or fruiting, your plant is that chili plant is different again. Vegetables is slightly different again. Okay, but most of us grow everything on the same system. Okay, so you take a general aspect of it. Okay, that's important. Now, another very important thing to understand is what we call total dissolved solid reading, TDS. Okay, this is the TDS test meter. TDS test meter. Okay, this is too small for you to see. Okay, the EC will measure electrically charged nutrient ions in the solution. So what you have is this meter. There are two electrodes at the bottom. Okay, if the water is pure water, distilled water, no other ions inside, you should give a zero reading. You have a zero reading. But the more impure things you have, the more ions inside, then you'll give a reading. Okay, that's very important to understand. Okay, so the two bars here are electrodes. When you put in the water and you on it, okay, on it, then it should give a reading in the water itself. Okay, because electric current passed in between, there's a battery here. Okay, and this you call electro, okay, conductivity, EC reading. EC reading, that's what we have. Now, so the EC reading, okay, TDS, okay. Now, parts per million is what we normally talk about. Parts per million is in the way the dissolved ions inside the water, okay. And this will tell us whether the solution is up to the mark or not. Okay. Now, most of the time we use ppm, and the reading normally, depending on who you follow, 900 to 1002 is a normal acceptable value. Some people, you say plants can go to 2000. You can play around with it, okay? There are a lot of figures. Okay. Now, to complicate matters, there are three standards. Okay, HANA standard, UTEC standard, Tranchong standard. Okay, what happened is the Americans came out with their standard, Europeans have their standard, Australians have their standard. So depending where you buy your so-called TDS meter from, depending which standard they follow. Okay, in this meter, actually, you can look for EC or ppm reading. There's a mode for you to change. Okay, this is EC. I don't think I can see it. This EC. If I press again the mode, it comes to ppm. ppm, parts per million. Okay, and so depending on where you get the meter, it may be slightly different. Okay, and this is what the conversion is. If your EC is 0.5, you follow the American system. Okay, if it is 0.5 times 500, it comes 250. That's how they calculate. Anyway, all this is all technical knowledge, are not very important. But most of the time, we need this to tell you whether the solution is too dilute or too concentrated. That's what it says. Too dilute or too concentrated. So we try to aim for about 900 to 1002. Some people go to 1008, 2000. Okay, above 2000, normally we don't. Okay, it's too concentrated. The plants cannot use that amount of nutrient as such. Okay, which means that if you want to do hydroponic, you need to buy and invest in this type of meter. Okay, this is called a TDS meter or EC meter as such. Okay, you need to test this. I test mine about once a week, or unless I think my plant not growing well, I may test it a bit more. If the reading is too low, I add solution. Okay, if it's too high, not common, it's too high, then we add more water to dilute it down. Okay, now there are another meter called the pH meter that also can buy. The yellow color one is I have it, but the pH meter is not so easy to use. You got to calibrate it, give a solution to calibrate it, and they can use it. Okay, why is pH important? It's also good to know. Okay, now this chart shows that different minerals are absorbed at the best rate in different pH reading. Okay, for example, nitrogen. Nitrogen is best absorbed from a pH of 6 to a pH of about 8. If it's too high pH or too low pH, nitrogen is not absorbed well, and the same for all the other minerals. Okay, and on the other side, the hydroponic vegetables, some plants like different pH. Okay, slightly different, 6.5 to 7.5, 6.0 to 6.8.0. So they have already calculated which plant thrives best in which pH. So if you are going big scale, you are growing only one kind of vegetable, then you aim for this. But for us home users, when we grow all kinds of vegetable in one hydroponic bed, then we normally take average lah. Okay, take from about 5.5 to about 6.5. Most of the time we are okay lah. We are okay. So pH is important, but a lot of times we don't test so much. We just keep the solution adequately in the hydroponic system lah. Okay. Now this is to show you the different cups. Okay, they are very small. They are very small ones with a sponge inside. They are very big ones. So depending on the holes on your system, okay, that you can depend. You buy the system. A lot of time comes with a cup and with a sponge. Okay, you want replacement, make sure you get the same size. They're all different sizes in the market. So if you do make your own, these are PVC water pipes. Okay, most common is 2x3 size, 3x2. Okay, although I make one that's 4x3, a bigger size one. Okay, can grow a bit bigger. These are the round ones. You just bore the hole. Okay, that's how you use it lah. Okay. Now just for a quick look lah. Okay, you go to Shopee. Okay, Shopee. The cost of the 72 hydroponic like this, the whole system, 279. Okay, without the solution A and B, without the meter. Okay, this is just for the solution stand, 72 holes. You can grow 72 plants as such with the base and the pump. Okay, bigger one, 108 holes, 259 to 400 over depending. Okay, all these are different ones. All these are available to purchase online. Okay, 24 holes can be 450 depending on how good the construction is lah. Okay, so you just buy one, and once you buy this, it hardly ever break lah unless you crush it lah. So these are all PVC. It will last. Okay, you can make your own. Cheaper, you make your own and drill your own holes lah. Okay, that all can be done. Okay. Now just show you today. I just tested when this on the hydroponic. I put my meter in. Okay, 856. That's the reading I got. 856. So it's a bit low. Okay, it's a bit low. Now this is the cup. These are chives. Okay, this is healthy root. White roots like this are healthy roots. You see black falling off, brownish and all that, not so healthy. You see white roots like this, these are healthy roots in the solution. So we are thankful. Okay, so the reading is a bit low. So what I do is, I already got prepared solution A and B in a big 20 liter or something like that container. Okay, I dilute it already. Okay, and I got 2 plastic jugs, A and B as well. We label them. Okay, so in the past I got to pour out lah, use the pipette and all that. Okay, nowadays a bit easier. Also can buy this from Shopee. Okay, you just press on it. There are suction pumps. You will come out A and B. Okay, you come out. You keep it separate first until up to the same level, the same level A and B. Okay. Then I take it to my water tank. This is my 3x4 hydroponic DIY hydroponic stand. I got 2 water tanks here because this is a big setup. I put 2 water tanks. They're connected by a pipe underneath. Okay, the water tank underneath. I got a pump that pumps up all the water. Okay, so what I do is, I open the cover. I put in A. After I put in A, I put in B. So you mix it in the water tank. Don't mix A and B together and put it in. Okay, you then solid things will start forming. So you put it in the water tank and you'll be there. I normally test my EC ppm every week, once a week. Or sometimes, very rarely, if the roots block my thing and the thing overflow and the solution goes off, then we'll test it again and add water and all that lah. Okay, if everything is running well, then normally weekly should be good enough as such. Okay, so this is what we do if it's low, and you do it. What I've set up is my water tank all got this control, water control valve. So I've connected to my pipe system. I can open it. So anytime the water goes down, you automatically fill up, So I don't have to worry about filling it up. Okay, so some days when it's very, very hot, the plant loses a lot of water. Okay, perspire like mad. Then you find the water level goes down. Okay, and this kind of system will help you to top up the water again without you having to do it physically. You do it once on the water tank, you set the level, then it should be okay. Okay. So what are the benefits of hydroponic as such? Hydroponic per se should require less space. Okay, there's no soil and no weed. No soil means no weed lah. Okay, it should grow faster 2 times normally than soil. Okay, it should grow faster. We hope to see less disease. True, in most cases, sometimes also can get disease. There's no pesticide use lah. Okay, because we are growing it separately. We don't spray anything. It saves water compared to on soil. 80% less water used. Okay, it should give higher yield hydroponic because the plant gets nutrition directly. Affordable is a very questionable one. Okay, you got to sell a system, you got to invest some capital. Okay, but once the system is there, it hardly will breaks down as such lah. Unless the pump dies, you'll change the pump. It's just a normal aquarium pump. So got fish pump and all that is the same thing. Okay, so these are the benefits of hydroponic as such. Now, what are the disadvantages? Okay, it do take amount of time for you to make sure that everything runs well. You got to check it, make sure there's no leakage, make sure that your tubes are not blocked, make sure the pump is working. But once it's working lah. Aquarium pumps are quite reliable as such lah. It requires some expertise in such to set it up lah, to make sure everything runs well, to be able to test the ppm and all that. There's a risk of water elasticity because your pump in the water, if just be careful, the wire don't break. If the wire is broken and there's current and the water, not a good combination lah. Okay, so far I've not got leakage as such lah. So I'm thankful. Okay, if the whole thing, if there's a power failure for a short while is no issue because most of us, the system is set up, there's always a layer of water the roots can tap on. Even the water don't flow, the plant will still survive on the small amount of water. So for a short time of power failure, hydroponic is not an issue. But if long time and the water don't flow, you get stagnant, that's different again. Okay. Debate over the organic nature. Some people say it's organic, some people say it's not because you use chemicals as a nutrient. I mean, this debate, there's no end to it lah. Expensive, depending what system is set up, whether do DIY or not. Okay. Return on investment, ROI. If you use it just for yourself to consume, okay, there's something about growing your own food, harvesting and eating yourself. I mean, that is a joy lah. So my understanding, my wife is, I'm the grower, she's the harvester. Go to the garden, what is right, the vegetable, she's harvest, cook and eat. Okay, so if you want the ROI, it's very hard to calculate. Okay, I'm not doing a commercial scale. I'm doing for home consumption and to give to friends, my neighbors and all that. Okay, so it's different again. So you ask me exactly how much you spend a month, I don't know. If I want to calculate electricity, my pump, how many wattage I can calculate how much electricity used, but to me it's not much lah. Okay, but the satisfaction of growing your own food lah is something that that's a joy to have lah. I think that's important. Okay, so this is hydroponic. Any question you just put on the chat, please. Now come to aquaponic. Okay, Aquaculture is when you rear fish. That's called aquaculture. Okay. Now you're trying to fish and vegetable. Okay. Phonics, the Latin is to work. So the whole idea is to use the fish, okay, use the fish waste as a nutrient for the plant. Now you cannot take the fish waste and put onto the plant. You'll kill the plant. So there must be a conversion that must happen. Okay, and this is important what aquaponics is all about. So you have the fish. Okay, the fish will excrete the waste. A lot of times it's ammonia. Ammonia is the main compound and toxic not only to the fish if it builds up, but toxic also to vegetable as such. Vegetables cannot use ammonia. So God has given us nitrosomas. Nitrosomas is a bacteria that converts ammonia to nitrites. Ammonia to nitrites is present in all the soil and water and all that. So you don't have to add anything. It's already there. Once they see ammonia, nitrosomas will change the ammonia to nitrites. Now, nitrite itself is still toxic to the fish, still toxic to vegetable. Okay, so nitrites is still not the main compound as such. Another bacteria called nitrobacter will convert the nitrites to nitrates. Nitrites to nitrate. Now the plants can use nitrates, and nitrates is not toxic to the fish. Okay, so ammonia and nitrites are toxic to the fish and the plants, but nitrates are not. Nitrate is what the plant use as a source of nutrition. Okay, and nitrates, the fish is okay with it. So the whole area is that we got fish that pass out the waste, a lot of them ammonia. The nitrosomas will convert the ammonia to nitrites. Nitrobacter will convert the nitrites to nitrates. And that's where the vegetable will come, take the nitrates as part of the nutrition. Okay, and this in a way completes a cycle. There will always be bacteria because the fish waste and bacteria. You have an aquaponic. After a while, you see these small red worms will come. You didn't introduce them, but they will come. It's all part of the ecosystem as such. So what happened is that we are using the waste of the fish as a source of nutrients for the vegetable. And because the vegetable use the nitrates, the water is cleaned up. It goes back for the fish to use. So you can harvest the vegetable and harvest the fish. Okay, so that is the whole basic understanding of aquaponics as such. Use the fish waste converted through bacteria that's already present, okay, nitrosomas and nitrobacter, into a compound that the vegetable can use, nitrates, and then the vegetable will grow. Vegetable will clean up the waste, and the water that goes back to the fish will be cleaner, and the fish can survive in it. Okay, that's important. Okay. Now, 4 ways aquaponics improve for hydroponics. Okay, how 4 ways? Okay, one is the nutrients. We are no longer taking chemical A and B mixed together for nutrition. We are using a natural waste product of nature. Okay, fish waste. And in many sense, this mimics nature. That's why it does in nature. Okay, you got a fish pond. Next to a fish pond, you see all the vegetable all growing very nicely. Okay, because it's happening in nature itself. This is what's happening in nature. That's important. Okay, technically got 0 waste. Okay, a lot of times you get a lot of extra fish waste that you need to clear away as well. But the fish waste is converted into a nutrition that the plants can use. The plant cleans the water and goes back to the fish as such. Okay, more productive. Depending if the system running very well, it can produce. Suppose it's more productive than hydroponics. Okay, although some plants are better hydroponic than aquaponic. Okay, so more productive, well, depending what plant you grow as such. Okay, now the basic aquaponic system is like this. The basic aquaponic system you might have. First of all, you must have fish. Okay, the aquaponic, so you must have fish. And fish, you must have a fish tank. So there is water with a fish inside. There must be a fish with fish tank. Okay, obviously you feed the fish with the pellets and all that. Some people feed vegetables, some people feed the azora weed and all that. There are different ways to feed it. So the fish in the fish tank, you feed the fish. And because you feed the fish, the fish will lay waste. Okay. Now you must have a water pump. So the water pump will take the water in the fish tank, okay, and pump it up to the what we call a filter bed. Okay, a filter bed. Now this filter bed has this media, okay, and in my filter bed I use hydrotone. Okay, hydrotone. This is a filter material. So remember, hydrotone is porous clay pellets. Okay, it's quite light. Okay, so you fill the whole thing with it. The water will go in. The bacteria will be present in the system, and the hydrotone will act as a place for bacteria to grow and start changing the water, ammonia to nitrites, nitrites to nitrates. Okay, and because this is a filter bed to change from ammonia to nitrates, okay, you also act as a growth bed. So in the simple system, the filter bed and the grow bed is the same. Means all are there, and the plant can grow on it. So the plant can use the hydrotone as an anchor for the roots. And the hydrotone itself will act as a place for the bacteria to work. Okay, so this will happen a very simple manner. The filter and the grow bed are the same. Okay, now the veggies you grow on top of the grow bed, obviously. Okay, you sow the seed and all that, then you'll grow because there's nutrient, nitrates is there. Okay, a lot of time you got a bell siphon. What the bell siphon does is allows the water to go up to a certain level, and then water go back down into the fish pond. It goes up to a certain level, go down to the fish pond. Now this is quite good because it allows your plant, vegetable to have a time when the water is not all the time there. Water goes down, air comes in. Air comes in, brings oxygen. The roots of the plant also need oxygen. Okay, so a siphon will allow the water to go up and down, up and down. When it goes up, the roots get the nutrients. When it goes down, the root get oxygen. Okay, so this is the bell siphon. You can make it yourself or you can buy it commercially. Okay, and that's what happened. So this is a very basic aquaponics system, where there's fish in the fish tank. You feed the fish, the waste of the fish is taken up by the water pump, goes onto the filter bed that also serve as a grow bed. And on top of it, you can grow your plants and your vegetable. And the bell siphon will take the water up and let water go back down. So the water that goes up will be a lot of ammonia, obviously. By the time it comes down, you should have less ammonia or no ammonia at all. Okay, so this is a very simple aquaponic system as such. Okay, now an improvement to this aquaponic system is where you separate the filter bed from the grow bed. Means you have another filter bed to filter out the solid waste especially, and allow the bacteria there to change all the ammonia to nitrites into nitrates. And the water that comes back onto the grow bed is richer in nitrates and hardly any ammonia. That's what we hope. Okay, so this is the fish in the fish tank with the pump, goes onto the filter. The filter will fill out the solid waste, change the ammonia into nitrites, into nitrates, and the water will go back up into the grow bed. So now you've separated the grow bed from the filter bed. Okay, obviously this will get very dirty. The filter will get very dirty once the water will wash it, but the grow bed will be cleaner. The previous one where we had both the grow and filter together, after a while, the whole thing get a bit dirty because the solid waste of the fish is there. Okay, and a lot of time it cannot move far enough. So after 6 months or whatever, you got to clean the whole thing up. Okay, can be more work. So you separate the filter and the grow bed, then it's cleaner. Okay, then you grow the vegetable on the grow bed. And the same thing, the bell siphon will help to lift the water up and down, and goes back into a fish tank. So dirty water for all the fish waste goes up. By the time it comes back into the fish tank, should be cleaner water. And the fish can survive, and the cycle goes on and on. Okay, so this is a bit more of a aquaponic system. Okay, another type of aquaponic, same thing. The fish tank, the pump or filter bed, but instead of the media, you take the styrofoam or raft and all that, and you grow your plant on rafts. So it floats on top of the water, okay, and the roots are down, okay, and the water itself after it goes back into a fish tank. So it's the same system, but it's a different way. Remember the hydroponic, there are different systems. This is another different system. So if the fish is still there, it's still filtered out, but the water, the nitrates-rich water, will come and be nutrition for the vegetable, and bell siphon or just go down, discharge the cleaner water back into the fish tank. Okay, this is another way to do it. Okay, another way is net baskets. Okay, you can do the same thing. You can have a horizontal thing like we saw in the hydroponics. You drill the hole, you put the water in, and these are what holds the plant. You got the media there, and the roots are in the liquid. The water goes down underneath, and the roots take the nutrients. They are called net baskets. Okay, the same idea. So the water flows down and flows back to the fish tank. How many you want, how many layers, up to you. Okay, so it's the same principle, except that different ways of growing vegetable. Another way is Dutch bucket. Okay, Dutch bucket are bigger things like this. Okay, and this is a form of Dutch bucket. You see, there's a at the bottom there's something. Okay, you can make your own. This one thing I make. You make your own. It's 2 by 3. You can sit nicely there. So imagine you put a pipe system. The water goes down. Water goes down, goes into this pipe and goes back into the fish tank. Okay, so this is a DIY Dutch bucket system. So you have this whole thing to go down. So inside here you put your hydrotone, your media, okay, and the water goes down and water drifts down, and the roots will take out the nutrition. Excess water, clean up water will go back into a fish tank. Okay, so this is Dutch bucket system that you can use to grow as well. Okay, so there are different aquaponics type as well. Okay, aerophonic, you spray the water onto the plant. Okay, drip system is the law is suggested. You drip and the water goes back in. Deep water culture, you float on top of the water. Okay, or nutrient film technique is the water is very thin, or some use a wick to bring it up. Okay, and so thin layer of water and all that. All these are different systems that we have to be able to grow the plant. So the important thing is there must be a fish. The fish waste must be treated, filtered out, and the water that comes after the treatment is good nutrition for the vegetable. Okay, how you flow it, what type, square, round, all that doesn't matter. Okay, I think it's important to understand. Now, I'll spend some time talking about the filter because this is important. Okay, I make my own filter, so I share my experience. Okay, there are different types of filters. Okay, one is called the radial flow filter. Radial flow filter is the dirty water comes in, it goes all the way up. You put this chamber inside that's closed up, so the water sprays all the way up and forced to turn down. It's forced to turn down. Now, any solid waste that we have, okay, and it's coming down, will continue to fall down to the bottom. The rest of the water will escape up and goes up to the inlet for the clean water go out. So the head for the clean water must be higher than this. Okay, the dirty water always goes down, shoots up, sprays into an inner chamber like this, allows the solid waste to go down. As they're going down, they'll continue to go down, and the rest of water that's not so solid, no solid waste or all that, will go up again, and the inlet head for the clean water is higher up, and the water will go off and run cleaner water. Okay, this clean water, but this by itself just remove the solid waste, sludge, all the feces and all that, some of the leftover fish food and all that. All this is removed by this. Okay, but this has not much time for the bacteria to work. Okay, so that's where you can go on to a second filter. So sometimes filter at 2 levels. Okay, what we call a biofilter. Biofilter, the dirty water goes in, it goes into what called a biomedia. Okay, biomedia that will allow the bacteria to do its work for ammonia to nitrites to nitrates, okay, and finally leave as clean water. Okay, so these will radial flow will remove the solid waste. These will treat the ammonia nitrites into nitrates that the plant can use, and that's good for the fish. Some will put a air pump here and all that to increase oxygenation to make the bacteria works better. Okay, so these are called a biofilter. This is called radial flow filter. Okay, what I've done for myself, I've done this a vortex or swirl filter. Vortex or swirl filter. Now, vortex is when the water goes in, you make it go round and round and round. Means one direction. And the water goes round and round and round. The solid will tend to go down, while the liquid part will go up. So same thing, the input water in is lower down. You make it swirl around. Okay? And the solid waste will go down, and the liquid part will go up. And your outlet pipe, the inlet portion of it must always be higher than this, always be higher. So a cleaner water will run off. So this is called a swirl filter or a vortex filter. Okay, and this is what I've done in my house. This is a picture in my garden. Okay, I got a first tank, a swirl filter to remove the solid waste. And then I got a biofilter or also a biomechanical filter to change the ammonia into nitrites into nitrates. Okay. Now to help you understand how this whole system works, I just do a diagram. Okay. I just do a diagram. Okay. Firstly, the water in. Okay. Water comes in. Now in swirl filter, vortex filter, the water must turn in the circle. Okay, must be forced to turn by the direction. After I show the picture of it, so the water is forced to turn. Okay, and the heavier solid will sink down to the bottom. Sink down to the bottom. Now the water out, the inlet part must always be higher than this. So let the water swirl, and the solid goes down, and the cleaner water goes up, and the water goes out, and the water goes out. There is an outlet valve at the bottom, so all the solid waste we can open up once in a while to let it run. Okay, let it run. So this is a very simple diagram to explain the swirl tank or the vortex tank. Okay, this is a picture of my swirl tank. Okay, that they are cleaning it, so I just do a picture. So these are the two inlet ones. You see, in same direction. They're pointing same direction. So when the water comes in through the pump, okay, the pump are connected here, the water turn round and round and round. And the solid waste will go to the bottom, okay? And these are the outlet, okay, to the next one, next filter. So the pipe in, you go up, so this higher up than the inlet, okay? So this is what will happen. You all see it, the water, this pump wasn't working very well, I adjust it, okay? So the water come in and water will swirl, okay, and the solid waste will go down, while the water comes up. Then finally, when it's up, this is what you get. Okay, this is what you get. Okay, the water comes up. Okay, you still see partly it's still swirling, but the water will come up, and this is the cleaner water. The solid waste will go down, but the cleaner water will flow. Okay, so this is the vortex or swirl filter. Okay, so this is the first drum as such swirl filter, and then I got two pipes connecting the water intake here to the next biofilter or mechanical filter. Okay, this is all DIY lah. Okay, so it's not very straight. Don't mind lah. Okay, now this is the diagram of a bio or mechanical filter. Okay, I explained to you first. Now, when the water comes in from the swirl tank, okay, I make it go all the way to the bottom. Make it go all the way to the bottom, okay? Why I do this is I'm forcing the water to go down and force its way up to different layers. At the bottom, I put corals or gravel, stones, okay? This one, corals will help to stabilize the pH of the solution, okay? And it is good also to culture bacteria. So a good layer of corals at the bottom, or some people use gravel, okay, like the road making gravel. Then I use what I call K1 and K3 biomedia. These you can buy. These are small plastic round things for plenty of holes and such inside. They are very good media to let the bacteria that converts the ammonia to nitrites, the bacteria that convert the nitrites to nitrates, they love this kind of media. So you all congregate inside and have a big service area for it to act. Okay. And on top of this K1, K3 biomedia, okay, a mixture of big and small, I put a filter sponge. The normal one, we use aquarium. You've got 3 types, coarse, medium, and fine. So put the coarse one at the bottom, medium one, and the fine one on top. Okay, so that slowly, even whatever solid material comes through, all this will be trapped. So the water that finally comes off at the top, the intake of the outlet must be high up here. The water that comes off will be much, much cleaner. No ammonia, hopefully, no nitrites, but got nitrates for the plant. And this is the water that goes to your flower bed or your growth bed, your vegetable bed. Okay, obviously you must have outlet valve for you to drain all your dirty stuff underneath at the bottom lah. Okay, so drain it. When you see water not so clean, you can clean this up and all that. Okay, so this is the theory of the biomechanical filter. Okay, bio because we try to culture good bacteria. Mechanical because I put a sponge there to trap anything else. Okay, so this is a picture of my second tank. You notice the 2 pipes that come in, one goes down and one goes across to go down. One goes down directly and the one go across to go down. So I'm forcing all the water that comes from the vortex swirl filter to go to the bottom. Okay, this is my outlet. This is the discharge one. Okay, so it's important. These 2 up here are what will catch the cleaner water to distribute to your growth bed, your vegetable bed. That's important. Okay. Now, so my first layer, my corals and gravel. Okay, I put at the bottom. Okay, put at the bottom. I clean it up so it looks cleaner, like not it's quite dirty. Okay. After the gravel, we put the K1, K3 media. See all these plastic pieces. Okay, this will help the bacteria, a good medium for the bacteria. And on top of that, after that, I put the sponge. This plastic actually will float one if given a choice. So I put the sponge there so it won't float. Okay, it won't float. So the sponge I say got 3 types: the coarse one, the medium one, and the fine one. Okay, you can buy. It's all in Shopee. Okay, so you put it together. So the final product is like this. The water comes in, goes all the way to the bottom, comes in through here, go all the way to the bottom, goes through the coral, goes through K1, K3, go through the filter. Okay, and these are the outlets. And this is finally what you have. When the water comes off, okay, it's not pure white water, okay, still be, okay? But these are the one that from here you go to your vegetable bed, your growth bed. Okay, this is how the water discharges from this biomechanical filter as such. Okay, all this DIY, okay, all this you can buy from a hardware shop. Okay, now, so this is a picture of my aquaponics system that I have. I got 2 tanks, okay, 2 tanks. Okay, this is a growth bed. Also have the filter. Initially, when I didn't have a filter, this was very dirty, okay. These are watercress plants that I planted. So this is a growth bed, okay. This is a growth bed. These are kangkong that are planted, okay. So the water comes off and discharged through, okay, and the growth bed, you act as a medium, you grow a vegetable there, okay. I've experimented different type of way to grow. This growth bed on the rough, okay. This is a styrofoam box. I drill holes on it. I put the cups into it. These are capsicum plants, seedlings, capsicum seedlings that I've germinated. I put there, okay. And lift up at the bottom of it, you see all the roots coming off. At the bottom, this is the bottom of the styrofoam box. You see the roots all coming up, okay. So this is in a way deep water culture. Actually, the water is not very deep, but the water is there because I got a siphon to maintain the level. So it always be water there, okay. And these are the plants growing. How big this will grow, I don't know. I'm just trying. Okay, so this growth bed on rough. Okay. Now, this is a nutrient film technique. next door to this on rough one, I also put another styrofoam box. I fill it in my hydrotone, and these are Ing Yong Choi. This is a cross between Kai Lan and Choi Sam. Okay, I put the seeds there. Okay, so the water comes in. This acts as a place, a media for the roots to grow, and they germinate. Okay, I germinate this and see how well it will grow. These are the hydrotone, the picture of the hydrotone. Okay, so the water don't sit there. The water just goes through the media, hydrotone, and goes back into the tank. Okay, so this more of a NFT technique lah. Okay, I'm just trying different ones. Okay, and also I tried the Dutch bucket. These are bigger bucket. This is cherry tomato. This is sweet basil. I've got chili plant here, brinjal plant here, and all that. Okay, Dutch bucket allows you to grow a slightly bigger plant with more roots to anchor it. Okay, more roots to anchor it. So I'm just trying different system, because once I got a filter system going, the water that comes off, I can do much more. Earlier, my filter and growth bed is the same. I cannot do much. But now I had a filter to remove the waste and to let the bacteria act. The water that comes off, I got more means to do different things lah. Because I'm experimenting myself still. Okay, so the bird's eye view of my aquaponic taken from my bedroom window. Okay, so I got 2 tanks. I think 4 by 8 or something like that. This slightly smaller tank. I got 2 tanks. These are the netting on my fish. Because some of the fish, I got tilapia on this tank. On this tank, I got curly, giant gourami, patin. Okay, and the big curly want to jump out every time. I pick it up many times already. Even here, tilapia sometimes can jump out. So I put a netting there to just deter them from jumping up. Okay, so once in a while I go there, the curly will be struggling on the ground. Okay, so these are the growth bed that I have. Growth bed is a kangkong, growth bed is watercress. These are brinjal. Okay, this is my floating raft. I'm experimenting with capsicum. This is the Ing Yong Choi. This is my Dutch bucket system with the different vegetables. This is my swirl tank, and this is my biomedia tank. Okay, this is how it appears as such. Okay, these are all the tubing that we make ourselves. Okay, the pump is underneath. It goes all the way up to here. Same, the pump there, the water goes up into there. Okay, and these are 2 pads connecting, and this goes down again and goes round to charge the water back into the vegetable bed, and then from there goes back into water tank where the fish is. Okay, so this is my aquaponic system. Okay, just to show you some pictures. This is my DIY hydroponic system. Okay, this is the bigger one. It is 3 by 5. Okay, so I got different plants growing it. Okay, this is my DIY hydroponic one. And I combined, somebody gave me a hydroponic system. They want to use it. So I combined 2 systems into one, with 1 water tank, 1 pump. I split into 2. Okay, I grew different vegetables on it. Different vegetables on it. So my 2 and 3. Okay, so you want to see my land here in front is about can't remember, 12 by 20. 12 by 20. I got 2 aquaponics here. I got hydroponic 1, hydroponic 2 and 3 is here. And along the whole wall here, I have all the soil system. Okay, all the soil I'm growing. I grow ginger here in styrofoam boxes. Okay, so people see it very messy lah. Okay, but useful use of my my land area lah. Okay, this is just the front of my house. What I grow in the back is different matter again. Okay, I also try to do some rainwater harvesting. My gutter, I put into 2 big plastic containers. When it rains, I collect the water. Okay, I can use the water for watering or for my fish. Okay, rainwater or fish is a bit better than pipe water or chlorine. Okay, so that's why we use rainwater harvesting if we can. I put up a slight netting here to cut down the sun for my hydroponics. Okay, question, comments, any concern that you may have. Okay, over to you, Ram.